I'm Jeff Rodgers. I'm Executive Director of the Berkshire Museum. The Berkshire Museum is a wonderful, eclectic, interdisciplinary institution that looks at the arts, history, sciences. Our goal is to get people thinking creatively and innovatively about those different areas of human experience and in the natural world, but also looking at the spaces in between and how the interconnections between all those things happen. We do that through experiences with folks in the museum traditionally, or out in schools traditionally. And the real challenge through this has been we can't bring people into our space to see the objects and experience the things that we would normally do with them live, which is where we shine. It's about our people and how to engage with our audiences. So we've worked really hard to create online experiences that bring the personalities of our staff out, the creative thinking, how people can engage at home online, either with our staff or through videos or worksheets or try this at home, doing everything we can to push out things for our earliest learners, for all the students who have needed supplementary work because they've moved to this remote learning, to work with educators to support them as best we can to help get them the resources they need to succeed with their students. And then there's families at home and adults who also do this. So we have such a range of audiences that we needed to speak to. So we created explore.berkshiremuseum.org, a new website with all new content that we're putting out new stuff virtually daily. So there's always something for folks to do. And we recreated the whole museum virtually. So when we create our virtual exhibitions, you really feel like you're walking into the museum and through our galleries to see what these exhibitions could be like. I think the real highlight is when we moved the Art of the Hills exhibition into the virtual world. So Art of the Hills, this was our second Art of the Hills. We had 64 artists, all from the Berkshires region, with 74 works of art, I believe. Absolutely stunning work this year, and we were heartbroken that we were not able to open our doors and bring people into the museum to see this art firsthand. So we knew that we had to move this virtual. So we had nearly 200 people join us for a virtual opening for Art of the Hills. We had our jurors with us. There was lively discussion. There were questions. It went on longer than it was supposed to, which is wonderful. Nobody was eager to get out of this virtual opening. Everybody wanted to stay and talk more. Because it's one of the first times that people had an experience around local art and local artists and really had a chance to talk about it and experience it together. And it was wonderful. We phased our reopening. First 2 weeks just for our members, and it was a very limited experience. We wanted people to come in and we wanted to give them an opportunity to enjoy the aquarium once again. I was at the front door when the first family came up and the kids could hardly be restrained. They were just pulling towards the door. They were excited to see Chuck the tortoise. They were excited to see the piranha. They were excited to see all of these animals that, as 5-year-olds, they've grown up with these and they desperately wanted to go back. It's a private experience, so it's just a family unit at any given time. So those people that you have been quarantining with, that you would sit in a car with or go out to dinner with. So people have really appreciated the exclusivity and the safety associated with that. It really cuts down on the numbers of people we can welcome at any given time because you have an hour and the whole museum is yours during that hour. When we move into our second phase, we are going to expand to give people a last opportunity to visit with the art of Warner Brothers cartoons, which we were able to hold on to a little bit longer because of the quarantine. It should have been packed up and gone, but we were allowed to keep it a little bit longer. We've got a month for folks who wanted to revisit. It's a wonderful exhibition. The art embedded in the Warner Brothers cartoons is fascinating. But the history, the social history, all the other things, the natural history that's built into these cartoons, it's not just a retrospective for us older folks who grew up with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. One of the things that I loved the most was the day before we opened that exhibit to the public. We were just putting the finishing touches on it. We had 2 kindergarten classes that had been in the museum for a field trip, and we decided to give them a sneak peek. And when you have 5-year-olds walking in and immediately getting excited because they know Bugs Bunny and Marvin the Martian and Daffy Duck, that gave me hope for the future, because the next generations love the Warner Brothers as well. So it's great for everybody, and I think it's light enough, and we could all use a little lightness in our lives right now to come back, touch base with the Warner Brothers. That's not terribly exciting stuff as far as the public is going to be concerned, but it's very, very exciting for us. So one of the goals of the museum for the past few years has been to make sure that we were shoring up our infrastructure, that we were addressing deferred maintenance that had gone on for all too long because of financial difficulties at the museum. So what's happening now? A new sewer line has been put in and connected underneath South Street. Our original sewer line was over 100 years old, and it showed its age sometimes. And so we're very happy to have the sewer hooked up properly, and everything's flowing in the right direction now, which is going to save us some difficulties that we've had in the past. We'll never have to have those again. We've also exposed the entire foundation of the building so that we can waterproof it. Water seeping into the basement areas has been an issue for decades at the museum. This was especially an issue near our collection storage areas. We needed to make sure that those spaces are waterproofed. Again, we've got a 117-year-old building, so exposing that foundation, finding all of the things that have been buried for over a century, but waterproofing and insulating all around the outside provides us with some structural integrity that will last for another 100 years. We're also fixing up our freight lift. So on the south side of the building, we have a freight lift that in the past just went from the loading dock down to the basement, which was great. We're popping it up to the second floor though. So now large trucks with temporary exhibitions and traveling exhibitions can back right into our loading dock. We can take the crates right off the truck, and we can move things right up to the second floor and get them out right where our special exhibition gallery is going to be. So in the past, we've had to physically carry these objects up the stairs. If we wanted to do an exhibition, a truck would park in front of the museum. So we're very excited about the potential that this gives us for traveling exhibitions. And that's going to kick off some work on the second floor once we get that new lift connected on the second floor. So it's infrastructure work. It's waterproofing, it's sewer, and it's making sure that we can effectively move large objects through the museum, which gives us capacity to do some exciting things down the road. Wally has been out for a little bit of restoration.
Yep.
He's been sitting outside for a quarter century through all the seasons. His tail needed a little bit of work as well. So we engaged Jonas Studios, the original creators of Wally way back when. So they're doing a full restoration. They're getting down into his bones, which are metal, and making sure that those are all solid, welded, and that all of that is in good shape. Fixing him up on the outside, putting a new tail on him, and he's going to get a facelift. He's going to get a new paint job so that he's back to his original dinosaur colors. And we expect to have him back late this fall. So we have to get the front lawn back in shape first. They're not going to finish up all the sewer and waterproofing work until October or so. So Wally will probably be back in time for the first snow, which is great because one of our first pictures of every snow is Wally with a pile of snow on his head. So that usually signals to the Berkshires that, okay, it's wintertime again. Wally says so. Got a couple of great things going on in the aquarium. So we've got a new aquaponics exhibition in there, which I absolutely love. So aquaponics is where you're literally growing plants without soil, and your fertilizer and nutrients are coming from the wastes of fish. So we've got the fish tank. They're doing what fish do in the water, and those nutrients are being pulled up into the plant layer. And these plants are being used to feed our tortoises, our turtles, our frogs. So it's a small scale look at how you can have a self-sustaining ecosystem. It talks about sustainability. It's also one of the ways that we're looking at growing food in the future for humans. But it really connects all these different parts of the aquarium together. All the old favorites are still in there, though, so you still visit with Chuck. The piranhas are still doing what the piranhas do. The poison dart frogs are all doing well. All the animals did fantastic throughout the quarantine, and they can't wait to see people back in there. What we're working on now is, now that we, by this fall, will have had all of the non-sexy infrastructure stuff taken care of, we're looking at our second floor next. So some new classrooms, because one of the things that we thrive on is the engagements that are happening with kids and with adults. We need space to do that. So 2 new classrooms up on the second floor, replacing all the floors, new lighting systems, new wall structures so that we can hang art more effectively throughout the second floor. We are going to reinterpret our permanent exhibition. So we will have a new exhibition that goes in on the second floor, but we're also never doing anything perfectly permanent anymore. Everything's going to be modular. So everything that we're building is designed so that we can bring new objects up on a weekly or bi-weekly rotation, so that we can develop new programs and new experiences so that you don't get to walk into the same museum twice, which is very exciting for us. There's always going to be something new for you to see and do when you're coming in. That sets the stage on the second floor for new temporary exhibitions and for us to really start to activate this new modular way of doing things. Once that's in place and we have new ways to engage folks and get them doing things in the museum, we turn our attention back to the first floor. And right now our thinking remains an upgraded aquarium. So probably getting out of the basement and putting the aquarium up on the first floor. We're looking at the possibility of an immersive theater, which is a fancy way of saying a modern planetarium, but that also does immersive art and can be used for cinema, can be used for lectures. Just a fantastic multi-purpose space that does all kinds of amazing things. Some new natural history exhibitions to update the Berkshire backyard. So lots of exciting things on the near horizon. And, you know, this is going to take us a couple of years to work through all of this, but we hope to get started with the second floor within the next couple of months.
That's excellent. That's really exciting. Great.
Thank you. I think so too.
Yeah. So we'll be back. We'll interview about all that when that comes time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's going to be stuff going on at the museum. Less big cranes and backhoes and giant holes in the ground, but some really exciting stuff going on inside. So I can't wait for us to be in the museum live together so we can take a look at these things sometime not too long from now.
Yes, absolutely.